I don't know if I'm as high and proud of Paddy as I am right now. Had he won the first round, it's the fact that he was losing the fight. Things were not going his way, but he didn't change. He believed in his arsenal.
I thought, honestly, because Paddy cut so much weight, I go, look, if this fight gets into round 3, 4, and 5, I could see Chandler start trying to like really kind of impose his will. And also, I was like, the way that Chandler dips and comes over the top and the way that Paddy keeps his chin straight up, I was freaking out that first 2 rounds, actually. I was like, geez, man, this is going to be brutal if he catches him with a big shot.
And Paddy Pimblett does a good job of being tall, so when he does get hit, it's not very flush because he's not down hunkering tight. You see a lot of guys do, they go nice and tight, and when you get hit there, you're stiff. Some guys can take it, some guys can't. But Paddy Pimblett does a good job of creating scrambles. He went for the Khmer, Paddy went for the Khmer, and then you saw Michael Chandler let go of his hands, and then when it went to the clinch, Paddy Pimblett jumps for the flying triangle. Now, even though he did miss the flying triangle, he was able to use the flying triangle to get back up to his feet and separate and get back on the striking campaign that he was putting on Michael Chandler.
No disrespect at all. Michael Chandler is a hell of a fighter, but even in the first round, there was a moment where you could look at him in that fight and he was like, uh-oh, damn, it's happening again.
Michael Chandler is really a thing of beauty. Like, Chandler goes back to his corner after the first round, and his coach is going, mate, what the fuck are you doing? You're standing right in front of him. You're going in straight lines, back and forward. Use lateral movement, come in at angles, keep them guessing as to where you're going to fucking enter in from. We've been training this, he even said. And Chandler just didn't listen to any of that.
How many times have I talked about when you see a fighter that doesn't look at his trainer, doesn't look him in the eyes, doesn't pay attention to when the words are coming out of their mouth and is looking at other things, doing it, they're checking out. They're figuring out a way to get out of the fight. And that's what you saw.
And then after that, after the first round, it was done. It was over. Michael Chandler was absolutely exhausted, and Paddy the Baddy just got better and better.
Paddy went out there, dropped the first round, came back confident, was hitting Chandler with big shots. I mean, took him down. Who would have had that on their bingo card, that Paddy's going to take down Chandler, return him to the mat like that, and just get on top of him and dominate him like that. So, man, Paddy's the real deal.
Paddy used every advantage he had in this fight. He was the taller man. He had the longer limbs, and he made use of that.
Chandler would never like, you know, thread the legs and hold them and shelve them, and he had very weak control along the fence. Paddy didn't. Paddy had very good control on the fence. I'm telling you, that guy earned my fucking respect.
And then when he got the opportunity to open it up a little bit, you know, especially on the ground, Paddy did some damage.
Yeah,
Paddy opened up. The elbows were beautiful.
The new change of the rules, the 12-6 elbows is money.
I was saying I can't wait to 12-6 elbow someone, and I finally got to do it. Finally got to.
I mean, Michael Chandler's usually many things, but out physical. Then again, it's a combination of physicality and skill. You have to do both, and damage. But dude, Michael Chandler looked helpless underneath. This is the first time, and he didn't actually look old, but I'm saying Paddy made him look old.
Of course, for Michael Chandler, yeah, he's 38 years old, but he's given great fighters a good run. He's given them a tough test. He's made Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira work for their money, okay? And it wasn't easy. It was easy for Paddy Pimblett.
There wasn't a moment, and I'm being honest when I say it, that I was looking going, oh, Chandler has him in trouble. Even when Chandler was on top of him, he's just wrestling. I mean, and at least I was going, well, at least he's wrestling. That's a smart move. Not the best with the guy you're doing it with, because he's pretty goddamn slick off the ground, but okay, at least you're trying to go back to what is that base that made you the fighter that you were. But he went straight back to being the guy that bounced in and out, straight ahead, straight back, linear movement. He's an easy target.
You know, Paddy was able to get the takedown, get on top, and he was just dominant there. You know, it looked like. And it wasn't that Chandler wasn't wanting to fight. Chandler wanted to fight.
And honestly, it looked like, if you had no context, if you were just watching this fight without knowing either guy, you would think that Paddy Pimblett was the guy with all the experience in this fight, that he was the bully, that he was the guy that, you know, Chandler was overmatched against. And, you know, that's how it looked.
And Paddy, I thought, for the most part, did a fantastic job of just waiting, sitting there, putting steps on, gauging the distance, waiting for him to get within range, and bap, bap, he would hit him. Bip, 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 with the jab, would hit him. Kicks, boom. He just was systematically breaking him down.
And in between rounds 2 and 3, Chandler was complaining to his coaches, like, he's too far away. And it was like, because you're not entering intelligently, though. Like, you have to feign, set up the shot, then go. Like, you have to keep Paddy guessing just enough for you to make that entry in. And also, when you do enter, don't enter face first like this. I've never known a fighter put his fucking chin on a plate more when he enters the pocket.
I gotta say, I love the calf kick that Paddy's throwing. He's still a little stiff with his boxing, but he's clearly powerful enough to get the respect from a guy like Chandler right off the bat. But he landed some big punches too, landed some good jabs, and then the grappling. He used his striking to get the respect, and then ultimately just smashed him where he's at his best.
After watching Charles fight him, and Charles didn't get the submission, hunting for it for rounds, I thought, there's no point in hunting for a submission when I can finish him with ground and pound. As I say, we game plan perfectly, and that's what we did. Like, I know he's got good submission defense, so we altered that and put it on him with ground and pound instead.
He had Chandler right at the end of his punches so often, and then how about this? Timing that knee on the entry, waiting for him. Dude, that's good timing. That's good anticipation. These are hard. They make it look so easy. These are very difficult skills to learn. And also, to teach a young fighter to leave their feet like that, not everyone is kind of suited for it. I gotta tell you, he's fucking good. Paddy Pimblett is good! Can you believe it?
Michael Chandler's stance was so wide. Paddy was having such success with those calf kicks early on, hurting his calf, timed the knee, dink, took him down, took his back. Michael Chandler was seeing his face just bleed. Seriously bleed.
At one point right before the finish, Michael Chandler was like squirmed up on the floor, covered in blood, looking up at him, and Paddy was just over him, just smacking him away, dropping elbows. He had the back, he had the body triangle, he had the mount, he had every single position under the sun, and he looked like he was still only in second gear.
Chandler has a hard time getting to his opponents because he is a shorter on that division. He doesn't move around and walk in with, stop hands, and he doesn't use his body kicks to get there. He tends to wade in like Iron Mike Tyson, and that's when Paddy Pimblett was able to land that beautiful knee right there.
That's very telling for Michael Chandler. That knee that landed split Mike open so bad. It's hard to watch when a guy you consider a friend starts to gets beat up in that way. So
timing on that switch knee to intercept Chandler in that third round when he was there, the confidence to take that back, the ability to marry that with the back to the mount, with ground and pound, with sub threats to wear on Michael Chandler. Dude, he big brothered him.
I knew I was getting the finish tonight. I said within 2, so I was a little 3 minutes too late, but I still got the finish within 3 rounds.
Good jiu-jitsu guys. That's what they do. That's what they train. They train to pass the guard, make someone turtle, take the back with both hooks. So Paddy did. Matt returned him, grabbed his wrist, took his back, both hooks. Michael Chandler couldn't get out. He didn't have an escape. Had to go to mount and got stuck. Got out jiu-jitsu'd and TKO'd by Paddy Pimblett.
he was able to take Chandler down. He was able to beat him up in the grappling. And he honestly won the striking against Michael Chandler. I find it hard to find moments where Michael had much success.
When I say that was an impressive performance by Paddy Pimblett, I'm telling you, that's an understatement. He just went out there and absolutely destroyed Michael Chandler. And I don't say this lightly.